Today, drama means personal obstacles, drama means understanding yourself, and drama means being brutally honest, even if it hurts some feelings. Hi, welcome to Drama Means. Today we're talking about the 2025 Japanese drama Romantics Anonymous.
And first, a summary. When her best friend and mentor suddenly passes away, a master chocolatier with severe social anxiety finds an unlikely ally in her new boss, the supposed soulless corporate stooge that has bought his way in to her mentor's chocolate shop.
So we do know that this is an adaptation of the 2010 French film Les Motifs Anonymes.
Okay, that's pretty good. Your French is getting better. I was like side betting over here. Is she gonna pull this one off?
I try.
I didn't realize while we were watching that it was an adaptation. I don't think I knew until afterwards. I kind of looked it up, that it was an adaptation of a French film. We did not go back and watch the movie afterwards, so we're not. This is not a compare and contrast styles or anything. We're just talking about the series.
Yeah. I do eventually want to watch it. We just hadn't gotten a chance to watch the movie. And I have seen the poster around before back in the day. I just never really
sought it out and actually watched it. Yeah. I mean, after watching this, I do kind of want to watch the French film. I mean, I think about the French movies that I like, and this genre is kind of it. Like, I'm like, yeah, those are the French films that are like really good.
Yeah.
It's kind of like subtle, romantic, kind of
quirky.
A little quirky. Yeah. I always think of Love Me If You Dare, like just the things like that. So I do feel like at some point I do want to go back and watch this.
Yeah, I do too. Eventually we will. But the reason why I sought this drama out in the first place is it has the cast that I loved watching when I was younger, right? Like Oguri Shun, who played Hanazawa Rei from Hana Yori Dango, Akanishi Jin, which I had a huge crush on back in the day.
Okay.
I watched the first thing I saw him in was Anego. And of course, Hyo Joo, which we watched in Iljime.
When she was little bitty, right? She was pretty young.
She was young, maybe like early 20s.
I thought she was younger than that. I thought, well, I mean, she looks really young still, I will say. So maybe in my mind, she's like, was a little kid.
Yeah.
but she still looks so young.
The thing is, there were kid versions of their characters.
Yes.
So you might be thinking of the kid characters.
Yeah. But I do remember there was kid characters, but no, she did not play the child in there. But it just, when I think of her, I'm like, she's so young. She's like, do you not age?
She looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I feel like she's aging so naturally. So I really appreciate that. But also, like, I've liked her for a long time. And honestly, I haven't watched a whole lot of her recent stuff. So it's kind of nice seeing that she's doing like a, collaboration crossover drama. But also, like, all the Japanese she speaks, it's her speaking it. She's not dubbed over.
I was going to say that, like, doing a role that requires you to be bilingual in a believable way, in a natural way, they really play into it. It's like an integral part of her character when she's using the Korean slang to kind of, like, dig at her boss. And, like, I thought that was all so well done and very hard for an actor when she's also playing a social disorder. It's like, there's a lot here for an actor to play. I would see why she would go, oh, I want to do this.
Yeah. It's great. And so it's so lovely to see them all together doing a drama that, like, I actually want to see. I know, like, Oguri Shun was doing some, like, I think a couple lawyer dramas, and then, like, so, I don't know. There was another one. I don't know if it's, like, land investment or something.
Right.
Drama. And I was like, I want to watch him more. you know, but then
those seem a little dry.
Yeah, it's not really up my alley, so I haven't. And it was so nice to see Jin again because he, for the longest time, hadn't really been acting, and so to see him again, and hopefully he does more, and hopefully he starts leading in things. I am very excited to see that.
Well, I also think for me, this is also the type of Japanese drama I want to watch. Like it's in touch with its feelings. It's very deep in the character building and the relationship building. I don't always love the Japanese kind of workplace dramas or like, the job dramas. Those don't always hit. It doesn't seem like, for me personally, that's what they do well. This to me is like that style of storytelling that the Japanese directors and writers just seem to like have such a firm, wonderful grasp on, like, it sounds cheesy to say, the human condition, but it really is like, I'm just in from like the first 20-30 minutes of the show. I'm just kind of in and I'm with you.
Yeah. I stay away from like crime Japanese dramas.
Did it have anything to do with watching Code Japan?
Even before Code Japan, every time I've watched a crime or detective or some kind of murder mystery type Japanese drama, I have not liked them. And I'm like, I don't really think that like detectiving is what they think is doing in the shows.
Right.
Right. So I stay away from those. But usually romance, like human emotions, I am all in.
Yeah.
So I do love the characters in this drama, from like, our main leads, the love square, if you will.
Right. Which is done interestingly, like not in the direction I thought they were going to go, because you always worry that the love triangle turns into a love square, which turns into a love zigzag, and then it gets ultra messy and almost comical.
Yeah.
And they never really went there. All these characters feel real and grounded.
It's, it's so mature, right? Because of course there are times when like you may have feelings for a person that someone else has feelings for. Of course that's possible. But you don't have to make it a big ordeal where like everyone's backstabbing each other, or like you just can't handle someone else possibly having feelings for the person you have feelings for. It's just like, this is so mature and sophisticated and they're like dealing it as adults.
Right.
And so it just feels so good and natural and like not over the top, not, like coerced and contrived. Um, I don't usually, how much I hate love triangles or love squares, because most of the time they're done so terribly. Someone is awful and someone is like toxic, right? But in this one, it's just like, I don't have the right to like claim you or to,
Yeah.
And so I just have to handle my feelings and get past this, and like, it's okay to speak it and say, hey, I had feelings for you, and confess your feelings and stuff. And then also be adults and talk about it together.
There's something I've said a couple times in this podcast of, no one is entitled to your attention or emotions, right? So just because I like you doesn't mean you are required to like me back, and vice versa. And just because I like this person doesn't mean no one else can like them or they can't like anyone else. Like, you are not entitled to other people's emotions. And I think we see that in this show a couple of times, where there's kind of either the miscommunication. Our lead guy thinks that, Jin has now kissed our lead woman, and he just kind of backs out of the room. But he does it in a way, it's like, well, I am not entitled to her affection or attention. Like, yes, that's disappointing for me. That's heartbreaking for me to see, but there's no one to blame.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to point blame and point hatred and point drama at anyone now that this has happened to me. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And he handles it like a man, to lack of a better term. He like handles it like an adult. And then it gets kind of like resolved.
Yeah.
Because he has a conversation like an adult with another adult. What a crazy idea.
Yeah. Wow, there's not miscommunication.
There is, but it's resolved in a way that feels like the way people resolve it, you know? If you went to a party and you thought you saw your best friend making out with your crush, and then you could go punch her in the face and drag her and throw her in the pool and try to drown her. Or, like, at some point, it comes out, oh, wait, no, that wasn't what's happening at all. Let me clear this up because we can actually have a conversation because we're not psychopaths.
Yeah. So, albeit, the characters do have their immature moments. I'm not saying that their characters, like, are just always adults and always, like, acting what they're supposed to be doing. Like, of course, they do some weird things, and they're very quirky characters.
Yeah.
But when they have to face problems and they want to solve the obstacle or situation, they have to be an adult.
Yeah, and I think, this goes to a little bit of like tone of the show where I think they did a good job handling the romance and then handling kind of the business and then being funny and quirky and like over the top. Like I think of the moment kind of near the end where all of her coworkers have the signs with his face on it to kind of cheer her on, and it's a goofy moment. But it's perfectly timed because it's kind of what she needs in that moment, and she kind of laughs and it lets the air out of this tension in a nice way.
But it's so endearing too, and
Yeah.
it's so nice because for the longest time she's never felt like she's had support, right? And now there's this crew of people that's just got her back.
Yeah.
And they know her situation, right? And they don't like flaunt it out. They don't talk shit about it. They don't, like whisper behind everyone's back and just like the cheesy cliche shit, right? They find the best way to help her.
Yeah.
But like also like not stepping on her toes, not pressuring her, not making her stare at them, It's just, and like when they greeted her back at work, they all put on those sunglasses. It's just these small moments that you're like, I wish my friends are like that for me, kind of thing. And those little moments that are just really like well thought out in terms of like what your character going through that situation would need.
Yeah, and I felt that overall in the series, like, she loses kind of her only friend and mentor, and what she gains is a whole group of friends and mentors, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of shows that growth in her. And much like the love triangle doesn't turn like catty and weird, the professional triangle doesn't turn catty and weird either. Because with the kind of the chef who is now kind of the head chocolatier, and she's kind of a little curmudgeon-y at the beginning and doesn't want to admit that maybe she's wrong or maybe her recipe isn't the best. Does she like?
It's not as good.
Yeah. Does she spend the whole show trying to sabotage the secret chocolatier? No, she like takes a bite and is like, I have to admit, I don't like to admit, but I have to. They were right. And they were better. And I have to find something within me to become better.
Yeah.
Like I gave up and this person didn't. Good on them.
Yeah.
And there was never that catty sabotage, go behind your back, like all that stuff. That is just like, I get it. That's dramatic. But to me, it's not interesting.
It's not interesting. And it's not like, it's not what the show or the tone is. Like, it's not, it's all about this crew of people who are individuals who have to come together for the greater, like, goal.
Yeah.
So for one person to be like, I get it, like it just becomes really like cliche, when you throw in a character like that when that's not what your show or story is about.
Well, and I think it's like, what are the priorities of your story? Is it to have the maximum amount of drama, Real Housewives of New York, people throwing things at each other across the kitchen? Is that what we're watching? Not really. Like, yeah. We're watching kind of people trying to figure it out. Everyone wants to do a good job, and maybe the only way it's unrealistic is it does feel like a lot of people in this are a little selfless, like a little almost too humble in moments. You're like, are people really this humble? I enjoyed watching it. like I liked that about it. So I didn't mind.
The thing is, the thematics is like on par with classic Japanese storytelling and like character characteristics.
Oh, that's a technical term. We call them caricaturistics.
But you know what I mean. Like, it's just very on par with Japanese storytelling, honestly, because a lot of times it's like it's about the, you know, everyone getting together and working towards a goal, and like, as my favorite anime Haikyuu, where like they're all different cogs and then put together and they become like a machine.
Well, that's, when we shot a show in Japan, and that was one of the things the local crew kind of told us. They're like, Japan really values orchestrating a society that works together. So it's very less individuals over society. Where in America, I think we kind of fancy ourselves like individualists, like it's all about individual freedom. And in Japan, especially in work culture and in shooting, film there, it's like if you're disrupting what's going on in public with your filming, you don't get to do that anymore. Here, we close down streets and screw you all, walk around.
Yeah.
And so I think that also is kind of this idea that the greater good means a little bit more than individual like accolades or individual freedom, which again, you can argue which one's better or worse, but I think it's consistent here with what at least I've been told is kind of workplace culture there. And I'm by no means an expert, just kind of what I took in.
Yeah. I did see quite a bit of comments online complaining about the romance of the show, like the non-existent or like weak emotions between the characters.
Okay.
Someone specifically had mentioned like they're like that's not how you do romance. It should be like there needs to be a back and forth and like a build and and I just
ups and downs. I remember this comment. Downs,
yeah. The thing is, no one says that there's a specific way to fall in love. In society, in our real lives, we don't fall in love all the same exact way. And these are adults who have been fighting their own trauma and their own mental well-being. And in the middle of all of this, they are falling in love clumsily.
Oh, for sure. It's not clean.
Yeah. So it's just not part of their character or personalities to go through these ups and downs and back and forths. They can't even convey what they're really feeling.
Well, neither of these people are used to human connection, period, end of sentence. And so expecting an 8-episode show to run the gamut of what a traditional romance would be, no offense, that's stupid. Like, this isn't a normal, like, evolution of a romance. These people are very siloed, right? From society at all. So, like, they've never really done this thing before. So you're asking them to just behave like every other relationship we've seen on television? That's what you were expecting when you opened this up and you started watching? I think that's on you a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. It's forcing your expectations, and I understand as the audience we have expectations of how a relationship will go, like when we're watching a rom-com or whatever, and like we do expect a certain formula. But the thing is, you have to ask, like, does that really fit the character? You have to really like think, these characters are a certain way, they've gone through certain things, and it's not going to be always this like melodramatic, like
It's like, will they, won't they, then they did, then they didn't, now we're mad at you, then we're hot, then we're cold,
and then when they break up, and it's just like the fact that like Hana really didn't even know she was in love with Sosuke. So it's like, how can they even have that back and forth when she doesn't even know she's in love with him. She, for the longest time, thought she was in love with Hiroshi. Like,
Yeah.
So it's just, but it's such a grown up way. Like, she has to talk about it and like understand it, and then also like have people tell her, hey, don't you realize that like when you enter a room, the first thing you do is always search for him?
Yeah. Yeah. Such a good moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, and she's like, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because she's looking for not only like her safety net, but also this connection that she's found.
Yeah, but it's natural, but you don't notice it yourself.
Yeah. Which is so subtle, and I think maybe flies under people's radar because it's not punching you in the face.
Yeah.
I also will say that I think a lot of dramas have ruined us in the structure of romance because so many of your romantic dramas, I'm going to blow your minds right now. When we are setting up a romantic storyline in any script, in any story, the first question we have to ask ourselves is, when is the first time they kiss? What episode do they kiss? That's always a debate in the writer's room in every romantic storyline. And this kind of story doesn't lend itself to that. Oh, well, what episode are they going to kiss? Episode 2, episode 4, episode 6? That's not really what this is about. This is about getting us to that kiss by the end. To the point where I don't even care if they actually kiss, right? That's so far beside what the point is. And so I think sometimes when people are watching, they're so conditioned to be like, well, if they don't kiss by episode 3, then they don't have time to break up by episode 5, and then they don't have time to get back together for episode 7. And you're like, yeah, you're asking for this formula that you otherwise, 2 shows later go, ugh, why is everything so formulaic and bland? So like, hey, just watch it for what it is.
Yeah.
You have your right to opinions, but you also have the right to be wrong.
But also, I love that scene where Sosuke is like trying to comfort Hana and like giving her the umbrella.
That was my favorite scene.
That was my favorite scene too, because it's such like a, God, I really want to do this because everything in me says I need to do this, right? But he just can't handle it. And and he's just like, okay, I need to take this umbrella back.
Yeah, I thought I think we talk about a lot on the podcast too of a show knowing what it is. That was my moment for this show to go, they know what show they're making.
Yes.
I now trust the filmmakers because I 100% know what show I'm watching, and I know they know what show they're making.
Yeah.
And now I can trust you for the rest and just sit back and relax and not worry about you copping out and doing something strange.
Yeah, and everything is true to their character.
Yeah, I love that scene. Like, honestly, one of the best scenes I've seen recently. Like, forget in this drama, but like that scene just stuck with me for so long that I'm glad you brought it up, because I had a smile on my face like 10 feet wide, and he runs away with the umbrella. Like, you
He's
dick.
Like, I really don't want to be doing this, but I really can't handle it.
Yeah. But it shows what he has to get over in order to have that kiss in episode 8. Like, there's so much mileage that both of these characters have to cover. This isn't just a, when are they going to kiss? When are they going to hook up? Oh, I need more romance. I need them to hug more. That's not this show. And I think just try to appreciate that this show is doing it different.
Yeah.
If there's so many shows who are doing the thing that those comments are asking for, the ups and the downs and the backs and the force and the will. Every show does that. Appreciate the one that goes in the different direction. Because it's, to me, it made me so happy.
Yeah, I think they had all the right moments in terms of the comedy aspect of it, the time when they have like bonding moments between the characters. Just like, and I just love how like all the characters, no one's mean to each other. Everyone just like, in one way or another, like are there for each other. Like, even if they don't want to be.
Yeah.
Right? From like, when Irene is drunk at the bar and Hiroshi is like, I shouldn't take care of you. I shouldn't accept you and let you stay at my bar. But of course I'm going to.
Right.
Right? Or when Sosuke says to Hiroshi, like, oh, well, you kissed Hana, and and Hiroshi's like, are you dumb?
Yeah, are you an idiot?
Yeah. Like, you guys are kind of dumb together. Which is just, like...
endearing.
It's endearing because they're friends and they're allowed to say stuff like that to each other, and it's never, like ill-willed when they say stuff like that. It's like, hey, think this twice. Like, so it's just I love it. Like, I love the character dynamic. I even like the anonymous group.
Yeah, they're quirky, but they add something to the show. It's not just a wasted scene.
Yeah.
And I think that the tendency, maybe in a show that doesn't take as much care in all of their characters, these scenes are super wasted and kind of throwaway, and you play the comedy of him being in this kind of therapy group, and that's kind of it. But I feel like it helped dig another layer out of the show.
Yeah. I do have to say, like, something that, as I said in last episode about Idol Eye, Idol Eye was a very Korean formulaic drama. Everything says, this is how Korean dramas are laid out for you and done, right? This is very similar in terms of, this is a very Japanese formulaic drama. All in the past of, like, dramas like this where, like, they talk about community and, like, working with people. They always, like, want to solve a problem, like, person or situation by situation by situation, person, where they like talk to a person and they figure out what their problem is, and then they try to solve the problem, and then in the end, all these people that you once helped before will come together and help you at the end.
Yeah, this is a chocolate procedural. It's a chocolatier procedural.
Yeah, so this is a very common Japanese way of storytelling.
Yeah, I think my biggest gripe, and it's not even a gripe because, again, the show knew what it was, is that some of their little missions are a little easy. They don't have to really do all that much to solve the problem of the episode, because the priority of the storytelling is the character interaction and, kind of winning the folks over. So sometimes it gets a little easy to the point where, like, they go to talk to the Yuzu guy and they're expecting the confrontation and he just says, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, that was easy.
Yeah.
But that episode really, like, it was about fixing that problem, but it was really about the three of them getting there all the way out in the country and, like, having to drive all the way out there. He brings Hiro with him to, like, drive for them. And it's more about the journey to get to that moment than the moment. So I do give this show a break more than I normally would, as far as having obstacles be easy.
Yeah, and the thing is, their main thing is character growth, right? And like digging within and like really working through their own trauma. So these issues that they have with each vendor is such a afterthought, honestly.
Yeah, it's just kind of the setup in order to get the characters in the positions we want them to be in.
Yeah.
Like, why are they talking to each other? Because they have to figure out a problem.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the extent of really why that convention is there at all. I will say the thing I wish the show did a little better, obviously, like, each episode title is the name of one of the chocolates, and they're trying to figure out the problem with that particular chocolate. And, oh, now we have to go and secure the yuzu, and now we have to go talk to the cherry blossom lady, and now we have to go figure out this other thing. And the one I thought they did really well was the wasabi chocolate, because I do think, other than just a naming convention, like, it should have really been super thematic. And the idea of the wasabi being like, take what's on the inside and show it to everyone. Take your inner self and let people see it. And that was kind of the theme of that episode. The rest of the episodes don't really adhere to the theme very strongly. It's very kind of like, I guess, yeah, some more than others. Some I was really like in my mind going up, all right, how do I make this thematic to like the change the chocolate went through is also the change our characters went through, like that cheesy shit. And some of them I couldn't quite find it.
Yeah.
I wish I could.
Yeah. On certain parts of those, I started losing, like, my attention span was kind of flying away. Like,
yeah.
You know, especially during like the orange one and then the Sakura one, I was like, whatever, and I started kind of fading with that, in terms of like the story part of it. So there were definite moments that I kind of like lost interest a little bit. I did like that touch of like, at the anonymous meeting where the lady was like sad about her cat dying, and how like she felt guilty for crying more for her cat passing away than her husband.
Right.
And then like as they're talking about it in like the meeting, and Sosuke goes and gifts her like a box of chocolates and stuff. Like, I love that moment, because the minute they're like, oh, there's this random shareholder that like never answers our emails or calls, and so she's probably not gonna even vote, and then you immediately think, oh, it's definitely the cat lady. Right. And I liked that they were subtle enough that they didn't like beat you over the head and like repeat seeing this lady over and over again, and like trying to like be like, dun dun dun, do you see this lady? She's gonna come back later, kind of
save the day.
Yeah, like you see her once and that's it. Right? So it was like the show was trusting the audience that you're gonna get it. You don't need us to like put it in your face like over and over again that this lady is going to have something to say later.
Well, they do it subtly, because I think she's in a few of the just the scenes with the group and doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
And so she's just another background actor in that scene, and then they have kind of that one interaction, and we only understand through the kind of speech she talks about the cat that she's a widow.
Yeah.
And then that comes all the way around full circle.
Yeah, and the emphasis was on the cat, really.
Yes.
And so, I mean, even though they said like, oh, you felt like you needed that time.
Yeah. And no, they definitely give it to us.
Yeah.
But like you say, they don't just take a hammer and just like drill it and go, pay attention, this will come back.
Yeah, but what's so great about the subtlety and like respecting subtle aspects in a show is that it lets your audience like remember moments like that and be like, oh, I bet that's the person. And then they feel so smart at the end when they guessed it right. Right. And that is like a show saying, hey, I trust that our audience is smart enough to get it.
And honestly, it's not unenjoyable if you didn't get it. Like, I think that's the key, is let the smart members of your audience be smart. And this sounds horrible, but like, let the dumb members of your audience be dumb. And sometimes I'm the dumb audience who just is kind of turn my brain off and I'm watching. I'm like, oh, she's because I wasn't putting those two things together, because I wasn't really looking for a twist or whatever. But like, it's when you try to spoon feed and make every audience member feel smart and make sure that everyone gets it, because somebody's like, oh man, someone out there might not get it unless we put extra frickin' hot sauce on this. Like, someone might not taste this flavor. It's like, no, let the smart audience be smart, but still make a show we can all enjoy. And I thought that part of this, like, that made me very happy for the show.
Yeah. So for me, I really did enjoy it. Of course, there were moments where I'm like, oh, I could do without this or that or whatever. But for the most part, I liked it. I actually liked the romance in it. I thought it was very fitting for like, people of that age also to fall in love for the first time. It was nice seeing the actors again.
I would say the only thing I didn't love, and this is just a me thing, and we talked about it with Idle Eye, which Idle Eye I think was more guilty of this, is having every character like near miss each other in the past. I'm like, does everyone have to have a past? Like, it was so unnecessary for, like, she thinks Hiro had saved her from the bus, but it was really Sasuke that had saved her. It's like, you didn't need that. You didn't need him being, like, the mistaken identity and, oh, it was really me all along. Stop. Like, it would be so much more powerful if she's like, hey, you were love at first sight, Hiro, but he's like earned my respect and trust and all that. Like I don't need everyone crossing paths and like the the dad especially had these chocolates made for his like son and that oh my gosh, my childhood has unlocked the key to this chocolate. Like, okay.
I understand that it is stronger for Hana to realize that yes, I had a love at first sight moment with Hiro, but like what true love is, it looks like this.
Yes.
Right? I think that is stronger. I think it's totally fine for the dad to have gone to a really famous chocolate place to ask for a chocolate. Also, the dad is also in the chocolate business. So you're telling me that someone who's a big conglomerate chocolate business doesn't know other chocolate people?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's like so cute in the fact that like I don't know about you, but I've never had any relationship with any place I've patronized where I can walk in the back and talk to the owner and be like, hey, can you special make me these specialty super uber healthy chocolates that you've never made before? Can you change your recipe for me? You have that kind of relationship with your chocolatier, and then his son just so happens to become like the boss. And he is not the one who told his son to go be the boss. His son was like, I want to go be the boss of that. And he was like, no, you don't want to do that.
Except for he did buy the freaking chocolate.
Okay, but
right?
What?
No, here, okay, hold on. All right, like first of all, you may not have met someone that you can go into the kitchen and be like, hey, can you make me something special? But there definitely are people who do go to the restaurant and be like, hey, can you make me something special? Especially if they themselves are also a restaurateur.
I mean, sure, I guess there's people like that. I know a few, actually. But I just don't need all of this like, oh my gosh, look at all these like past connections our current characters have. Look how small our town is where like his therapist like his support group is also her support group is also cat lady widow of the chocolate, like they're all going to the same therapist, like all of them, everyone in town goes to the one therapist. Are you kidding me? Like, and then it's like, oh, but also like we have this deep chocolate connection from like my childhood. Okay, my brother who died of cancer, like this was his favorite chocolate that I remember eating now. Like, oh, and he saved her life. Like, holy crap. Like, the webs we weave are insane to me.
Okay, I also do think that it was way too coincidental that the therapist was also the like love interest of Hiro, right?
No, it's all a little too cute. Like, she's the ex/current girlfriend of Hiro, and her patient is not only our lead, Sosuke, also the widow of the dead chocolatier, and our lead character, like Hana. So she's the therapist for everyone, and then the only person she's not the therapist for, she's dating. Okay? Yeah. So that's crazy town. Then 3 of our 4 characters do kendo together. I know she went to do kendo because of Hiro, but then why is also Sasuke there? Like, why are they all do everything all the same together? It's such a small, tiny... Does this town have 14 people?
Okay, wait. You're telling me 2 best friends can't go do kendo together?
No, it's not that. It's everything. It's the therapist, plus the past run-ins, plus the dad run-in, plus the fact that the therapist is dating the only character she's not giving therapy to, plus that they all do kendo, plus that they all work together. Like, it's so much mustard on the hot dog of, like, look at how closely knit all of these characters are. I'm like, I just don't need this web to weave like Dexter's board of red freaking strings. Like, it's like, why? Characters could just know each other because we work together. We don't have to have a deep-seated past. Crazy idea, I know. They could just know each other now. I don't have to know you when I was 6. It's not a requirement for storytelling. It seems like it is, but it's not.
Well, the whole reason why any of these stories ever are like that is because they just want to put a little light on, hey, this is fate. This is destiny. Always putting us close together.
Destiny's stupid.
Like, it just literally is like people put so much emphasis on fate and destiny over and over and over again. And it's just like...
No, I think in this case, too, like it is, they want to reuse the pieces. Like they don't want to cast another character. So it's like, oh, the therapist is also the girlfriend. Like, yeah, you can just reuse like every part of the animal. I get it. But like, I don't know, pay another actor maybe.
They have like a whole crew at the chocolate place.
Yeah, get rid of one of those guys and then hire someone else to play the girlfriend. I don't know why it's got to be the therapist. Yeah, I got a little too cute. But I will say, I agree with you. I absolutely loved this drama. I was happy from beginning to end. It was a pleasure watch. Was it the most dramatic thing I've ever seen? No. Was it supposed to be? I think also no. And I really did. Even halfway through, I just felt myself like, I think I'm going to love this. I don't think this is going to make a wrong turn. I think I'm going to love it all the way through. And they were able to meet that expectation all the way up until the end. So I have to say, I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So what is your rating?
My rating is Drinks on a Pool Deck. And it's not perfect. And there's many criticisms that people out there on the internet have, they can have for it. And I wouldn't argue too hardly against a lot of them. Could there have been more character development? Sure. Could it have been obstacles or more? Sure. But for just the pure enjoyment of like what I wanted this show to be, it's pretty close to perfect. Like, just, it's exactly the show I wanted this kind of show to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I found myself really, really enjoying it. I wish the thematic was stronger from episode to episode. But you know what? It was a good time.
Yeah. For me, it's in the buffet line.
Okay. Still good rating.
It's good. It's definitely good because of some of the things we talked about and the formulaic, and the character, like each case of the episode, I guess you would say, I didn't really care for.
Yeah, some were better than others. I think I probably liked them a little better than you.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So
fair.
For that, I give it in the buffet line. I didn't have any issues with the romance or character interactions. It was just like, your episodic part of it was just kind of for me.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Also, I know they have their like rainbow box chocolates. That's like the famous thing. But honestly, I wish they had new chocolates. Like the same with like.
You're not eating them. Like they're not shipping the fucking chocolates to you. What are you talking about?
It's just, I know this random thought of like, how does this chocolate place get so famous for only having 8 chocolates?
No, hold on. First of all, that's the dumbest thing I've heard in a while. Of course they have more than... They even show people in the cafe eating things that aren't the signature box. This is just the signature box. This is what makes the brand. And if this box doesn't work, the whole brand falls apart. They can have croissants too, for all I know. They've got lots of stuff in there where they paste some chocolate on. They have a good old time in the back. Chocolate on strawberries, chocolates on tangerines. There's chocolates on everything. But this is the signature box. It's not the only thing they sell. Like, it's like being like, C's chocolate should sell more than those like turtle squares. Like, oh, that's one thing they sell. They sell a lot of other shit.
All right. Anyway, thanks for listening.